Joining us now is the founder of Vegans in Dubai. And if you are a newbie or want to be vegan, he's got some great tips for all you beginners out there. It's a warm welcome to Chandan Sojitra, who is our guest co-host today. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, Tom.
It's been, you're probably listening to our little a conflab a little earlier on. I mean, it's something that has been discussed at length in the Urquhart household, because I know that many of my members of family are sort of looking for vegan options. A couple of vegetarians in the house looking for vegan options. It's something you see much more on aeroplanes now as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the one thing I'm hearing is there hasn't been enough options. Is that changing now? Are there enough options for vegans in Dubai?
Yes, it is changing. It's been a slow journey. I've been living in Dubai for 6 years, and when I came here, there was barely anything. I was struggling. I've been a vegan almost a decade. I'm coming from London, where there's unlimited options, and the vegan hub of the world. Coming to Dubai 6 years ago, there was barely anything. You struggled to get your plant-based milks, let alone anything else. But as time has gone along, it's become easier and easier to do that. I mean, even in aeroplanes, everyone's got vegan meals. You go to the supermarket, nowadays they've got whole aisles dedicated to plant-based food and alternatives. So it's changing, slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, that's the best way.
Chandan, I've got to ask, so you mentioned there 10 years ago you decided to become vegan. Why? And what have been the benefits that you found from becoming vegan?
Yeah, so why is, I did it for the animals, really ethical reasons. Once I saw what happens behind the scenes, behind closed doors, it really hit a nerve and struck a nerve with me. And I was like, I can't be part of this anymore. So I decided that, the only way to remove myself from the situation is remove myself from the equation as a purchaser, as a buyer. So I went to a plant-based diet. I said, look, I'm gonna give myself 3 months, see how I get along. I need to learn about everything. 1 month went by and I said, that's it, that's me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
The biggest change I've seen is probably health-wise.
Yeah.
Much more energy and mental clarity.
Fantastic.
And I'm curious about that, because talking about health, I know I have friends who have diabetes and they've changed their diet into a vegan diet, and that actually fixed their diabetic. It was fluctuating before and now it's stable. But not a lot of people do veganism, become vegans for that health benefit. They just become it because, as you said, for moral reasons, or because it's also a fad now. Like, it's a trend that's happening. People becoming vegan, it's a trend, it's a title. My question is, why aren't people more aware of the health benefits, and how does that impact when you go to a store, you see vegan products, but they're also overpriced compared to the normal ones? So if you even want to fix your health, you think, but long term, the expense is more.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to people knowing about the benefits, I think because there's so many conflicting opinions out there, especially with the world of social media, I think people really need to do the research themselves rather than following what somebody on Instagram has said to them. Look at the studies themselves and then make that decision, right? But you're definitely correct. It can do heaps of wonders for people with diabetes and heart diseases. And in terms of the overpriced, I think that's a supply and demand issue. Especially in Dubai, it's slowly but surely changing, and the more people that become vegan, the cheaper the products are able to become. But ultimately, I would suggest that people stick to the bare basics. There's no need to buy expensive, meat alternatives or expensive plant-based milks. You can make these things at home for a fraction of the price.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about veganism?
Where do you get your protein from?
Thank you.
Where do you get your protein from? And I think that's the biggest misconception. And that question is only asked when you tell someone that you're vegan. Apart from that, nobody really cares how much protein one person is having, or even themselves. So I think
it's also come from this just fascination with protein at the moment. Everyone seems to be a protein expert nowadays, don't they?
This is it, yeah. And again, when you really dig deep into it, you can see that there's so many sources of plant-based proteins, and it's just really basic knowledge of nutrition needed about where to obtain them from, and that's all it takes.
Fantastic. Chandan, quickly, 3 top tips for people that are wanting to become vegan or try out the vegan lifestyle.
3 top tips. I would say number 1, to make it easier for you, is stick to the diet you currently have and just replace. So replace the meat for meat alternatives, replace the dairy for dairy alternatives. That way you can enjoy the same foods that you've always loved and grown up with, rather than making a drastic change and having an alien diet and it will, you know, put you off. Secondly, don't necessarily buy everything that's overpriced, and you know, then it becomes an excuse about, oh, it's too expensive for me to maintain, right? There's so much things you can make at home for a fraction of the price once you start looking around for recipes. And number 3, I would say just be part of a community or surround yourself with like-minded people, you know? If it's a new concept for yourself, whether that's from a welfare perspective, health perspective, you need to find people like that who are on that journey or already been through that journey. So you're motivated, you can go to them for tips, and you're never stuck with struggling.
Just quickly, I know we're out of time and I'll get in trouble if we go over time. I always get in trouble. But you started the conversation by talking about London being almost a sort of global hub for veganism. You know, you've got so many options there as well. Given there are so many different nationalities here, so many diets, so many backgrounds as well, is there the potential for this to become a hub as well moving forward?
100%. I would say from what I've seen, and since I started this group 6 years ago, I would say Dubai is about 3 years behind London. And you definitely see that with chains, for example. You know, a few years ago, Papa John's came out in Dubai with their vegan pizzas. A few years ago, it happened in London. So there's like a pattern happening, and I think it will definitely become one of the vegan hubs in the world soon.
Exciting stuff. Well, Chandan, you're going to be staying with us throughout the episode and giving us more incredible insights. But coming up, we are going to be chatting to a fitness coach who wishes she'd become vegan much earlier in her life after seeing the health benefits it's had on her life. So see you after the break.